Hi, Cuzzies. I want to welcome to the show our first guest, Ryan from Theme Park Tours LLC. Ryan, how you doing today?
Hey guys, doing great. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Now, Ryan is a very fun guest because he has actually started a a business of sorts here.
Right.
And tell us about what you got going on down there at Theme Park Tours.
Yeah, so it's just me. It's a one-man show. My name's Ryan. I'm a super coaster enthusiast, always have been since first grade. Um, and with Theme Park Review becoming such an invite-only kind of an exclusive thing, I thought there was definitely a big market opening for younger people to get involved in uh, going on tours and visiting parks. And I thought it was also just a great thing for me to make where we could have so many coaster enthusiasts come together, get some perks along the way, and just visit some parks that we've kind of all wanted to go to. So I essentially have created a tour company where I'm the lone operator, and I plan to bring people around in a charter bus, and I provide hotels, of course, transportation, admission, fast passes, which is really a big part of the company, exclusive ride time, which is great, and 3 meals a day as well. So you're going to get fed, no problem, and you're going to get all the other perks on top of that. So really exciting for me. It's been a dream come true.
Well, that's awesome. So you mentioned Theme Park Review. They used to do, or I guess they still do tours.
Right.
They're really popular. I know in like the mid 2000s, I remember buying
Absolutely.
these.
Yeah, they were fun to follow along with for sure.
Oh yeah. So is that kind of what inspired you to start the business, or did something else?
It's definitely that. I've always been fond of them, but as they've gotten older, things have become, like I mentioned, more exclusive. They've kind of more wanted to bring friends along, which I don't blame. They've become so popular. It's like when 1,000 people want to come on a trip, how can I bring 1,000 people to Japan or whatever? That's ludicrous. But no, I wanted to just create another outlet that kind of filled the gaps between that kind of invite-only atmosphere at Theme Park Review and the daily events that we have at the American Coaster Enthusiasts. I wanted something that was a little more consistent and dedicated when it came to touring, where I think Ace kind of has those daily events where, hey, you go on a weekend, you get some ERT, here you go. I wanted something where it was like just absolute coaster madness for 6 to 7 days where you could just get on a bus, not have to worry about anything, and just make some friends and meet some people who share the same passion as you.
It's awesome. This one's for the nerds. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
All right. So what are you most excited about with starting these tours up? Because you guys haven't started yet. Is that right?
No. Our first tour is in 2021. With everything going on right now, definitely wouldn't be the greatest time to jump into the market, but 2021, fingers crossed that everything is A-okay by then. And we're super excited. So our first tour is in mid-July, actually from July 11th to the 16th. So it's a 6-day tour. We're going to hit 7 different parks on the tour. It's going to be an absolute blast.
What are some of the highlights of those parks that you're going to?
Yeah, so,
First one.
this is another thing that goes along with something that's just been so cool about starting a company like this is that, I've been a coaster enthusiast for so long and really haven't done very much in the community. And it's been really great to not only reach out to people at the parks, but people on Instagram and people on Facebook. But a really cool thing has been talking with some of the owners and the PR teams at some of these theme parks. It's like pretty amazing that actually the owner of Cuzzies amusement park in Connecticut, he loves the idea and he's so excited to have us out. And we're going to get a whole hour of exclusive ride time on Wooden Warrior, and we have a lot more exclusive ride time in the can coming up. But there are definitely some great coasters that we're going to get on. The parks included on the first tour is Six Flags New England, Lake Compounce, Cuzzies. Then we're going to go to Knoebels, then Hershey Park for some Candemonium. Then we're going to get to Dorney Park, and we're going to end off the tour on El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. So it's going to be a perfect circle. And I think these theme parks really capture the spirit of what Northeastern living is all about.
I think he definitely sold Costa Bro on that trip, especially you
Oh,
mentioned
yeah.
Knoebels. So he loves Knoebels.
Oh, yeah. I have it written down here, a couple of my notes. I know you're a big classic park fan.
Big guy.
Knoebels is fantastic. we do have ERT there. I just can't comment on exactly which ride, but I was told we'll definitely be taken care of as a coaster club. So we'd love to have you come along.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, man. So you have one thing that I found that is kind of awesome about what you're offering are some of your special perks, and you've kind of hinted at some of them, but ERT included. But what else? What other special perks do you get from this tour?
Yeah, so Fast Passes is definitely one of those things that's huge. I actually worked at the Flash Pass at Six Flags Great Adventure for 4 years when I was younger. I knew I always wanted to work at Great Adventure. I live 5 minutes away, so it was a match made in heaven, and I loved it. But just kind of, outgrew my time there and have moved on. Went to college and everything, so it wasn't in the cards for me to stay at Flash Pass all my life. But no, I loved it there, and I know how important it is for someone maybe coming from not only out of state, but even out of the country to have Flash Pass for just that one day that they have at the park. People would come in and say, well, should I get a Flash Pass? I'm from England, and I'd come once every 10 years. And I say, why are you even asking me that question? The answer will always be yes, because Flash Pass simply just removes all the stress of trying to jam in, 14 different roller coasters in one day, waiting in lines, worrying about that. Flash Pass, you simply just reserve your ride. You could even wait in line for another ride waiting for that reservation time. So you'll get a 2-in-1 advantage there. But definitely Flash Pass has always been, I'm like the biggest fan of Fast Pass. Anytime I go to theme parks, it's so worth it, especially if you only have one day. So in addition to the Fast Pass, we have that exclusive ride time, as I mentioned, which is more, a little more private setting, whereas Fast Pass, you're kind of out and about during the day. But we're going to have specific times laid out for our theme park tours group to privately get to ride certain roller coasters throughout the tour. And I'd say another great advantage of going on one of these trips is, being with other friends. And I think it's really magical what happens when, dedicated coaster enthusiasts come together. So that's kind of been another reason why I've started something like this.
That's so awesome, man. Now tell us about transportation. I saw that buses are involved. Tell us about those.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's been super fun because I know zilch, before this about chartering a bus, but I have learned so much, not only about chartering a bus, but starting a company, which I am now a legal LLC. It's been a really cool experience for me. So this has all been so new, but I've learned so much in such a short amount of time. But in regards to the bus, I've really done my due diligence on trying to find which ones are more comfortable, which ones have the most amenities. And I have a bus company picked out currently that I think everyone's going to be really happy with. They're probably top 2 or 3 in the entire country as far as amenities and things like that.
That's awesome. Now, is there going to be like a special meeting point that you guys have, like at airports or?
Right. Yeah. So the first tour, that Northeastern leadoff, I've kind of dubbed it, is going to be starting and ending at Newark Airport in New Jersey. It's just such a great meeting point. It's very central. It's also a major international airport where anyone from across the world can really fly into within a day. So we are going to meet at Newark Airport. Tour's going to leave from there probably pretty early on a Sunday morning. It's going to be, I'd say, 7, 8 a.m. And we're going to hightail it right up to Six Flags New England to go get on Wicked Cyclone.
Whew. That's a great start to a trip.
Absolutely.
Way to kick it off.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. So what type of costs are associated with the tours?
Yeah, so the tours, I have created kind of a dynamic pricing system ranging from $1,300 to $1,500. And I've simply created that structure just because I find it a little unfair to charge someone who has a Six Flags season pass or meal plan. And we're going to New England and Great Adventure. So I don't know why I would charge you, a second time for something you already have. So we do offer discounts to people who have both, are either a Six Flags season pass meal plan or a Cedar Fair season pass or a meal plan. So on my website, I have like 7 or 8 different options depending on what you have and don't have. It can be a little confusing, but I've tried to lay it out. It's like I have a season pass. I do not have a season pass. So if you just go in and click the option, it'll come up with your special price there.
I really think your tour members will appreciate that, especially if they spend so
Definitely.
much money on. I know so many enthusiasts that have that Six Flags pass with a meal option or
Exactly. And then they
special
just
diets.
something they don't have to worry about. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super nice. All right. What about age requirements? Is there an age requirement to go on this tour alone?
Yeah. So that can definitely be pretty scary, and especially for all the parents out there, leaving your child with someone like me, it could seem a little scary at first, for sure. So my minimum is 14 years old. All minors will room with other minors. That's a very, very, hard requirement that I have. Same-sex rooming. Um, Essentially, if you are under 17, you'll have to stay with the tour guide. You're looking at him; he's right here.
All
Um,
right.
so I'm going to be kind of, getting all the kids around the park and everything like that. And I love roller coasters too. So we're just going to do a majority vote essentially on what ride comes up next. And that's going to be the gist of it. But, if there's someone who's younger, they can definitely bring along a parent, which means they wouldn't have to stay with me as the tour guide. And that's another great thing about my tours is I definitely want to be as hands off as possible. People are spending a lot of money. They shouldn't have to be bogged down by spending literally every second of their day with me. So once we get to a theme park, you're free to enjoy the park as you wish. I've built in kind of informal lunches and dinners, as well as certain ride takeovers where if you want to be with the group, by all means, you can stay with the group and join us on certain rides and eat with us and get to know each other. But if your thing is just, I'm going to fly solo at a theme park and try and get as many rides in as I can, be my guest. That's kind of the way I want to run this.
Awesome. Now you've talked about your Northeast tour, or what I would call the Northeast tour. You probably have
Yes,
a
yes.
fancier name.
Yes,
Northeast.
it's the Northeastern leadoff, I've called it. It's our first tour.
There
It
you
sounds fancy, there you go.
go. Now, do you have other tours that you have announced yet?
So for 2021, we only have the single tour. I'm new to this. This is going to be a learning experience. Anyone who comes on this tour, I will tell you, it takes a certain amount of trust to come along on an unproven company, and I would definitely appreciate it, of course. I'm super excited about it. And I know I won't let anyone down based on the amount of work that I put into this, but we really do want to expand based off the success of the 2021 tour. I'd like to do 2 to 3 tours per year. By 2022, maybe not only the Northeast, kind of expand out, maybe a Midwest tour, a California tour. I'm thinking maybe a little Texas involved. And I also like the idea of a little road to Cedar Point, maybe from the Northeast out to Cedar Point and back might not be the worst idea. And then, way down the line, 2024, 2025, I would love to do something in England. I would love to be able to go to Europe and do something like that. So I can't make any of those dedicated plans yet, as much as I would want to go there and how high they are on my bucket list, but definitely just need to see how this goes. And I'm so excited to get started, and I'm pouring every bit of myself into this. So that's how I know it'll really be, successful.
Do you have a limit of how many spots are going to be on the tour?
Right. So for this tour to happen, I need a minimum of 25, and I also have a maximum of 55. So with that minimum, the only reason I have that is just because a lot of parks don't allow groups to take certain perks as well as get certain group rates if they don't have a minimum. So I've already told anyone if they put down a deposit for the tour, it will be refunded in full in March if we do not reach that 25 requirement. I do not see that happening now. We've had actually a ton of interest from Instagram and Facebook, which I'm super excited about. I know people are being a little wary because of the coronavirus, but I totally understand that. And I mean, it's the end of June right now. We still have over a calendar year before this trip. So plenty of time to make this happen. And yeah, we're just super excited. I hope obviously I get that 55 maximum and we make this tour as epic as possible with as many coaster enthusiasts as we can jam onto one tour bus.
That'd be awesome.
That is awesome. Theme parks there.
Absolutely.
Remember we used to just drink beers in college and dream about doing this? And now we have the guy that's actually doing it.
Yeah, it's so funny. I mean, over with all the coronavirus stuff going on, I've been, I'm starting a new job next week, so I've basically been home not doing all that much, and I'm thinking to myself, well, instead of wasting my time, playing video games or just really doing nothing, watching movies, I said, this is something that you're passionate about. This is something that's achievable. Why not just put your effort into doing something that'll better the community. And this is kind of the brainchild of all those things put together. So
Mm.
really, really happy with the progress I've made.
That's awesome. Was the plan always to be 2021 to launch it, or did you have plans to do it this summer, but with everything going on, it pushed it back? Or
Yeah, actually, I think my plan was to start in 2021. I think it just
Mm.
wasn't possible for me to get everything going in such a short order. And I knew being a new company, it would take time for me to get my name out there and for me to reach out to enough people. And I think definitely that extra year is such like a welcomed cushion, because I would be running around like a madman if I didn't have that year.
All right, last question, but very important. How can our listeners contact you and also sign up for one of these tours?
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys can contact me through my website. That's at themeparktours.org. That's all one word. I have an interested slide where you can put down your email and your phone number and just a little brief message. I get all the messages to my phone, so I can answer everyone with if they have any questions or need more information. I'm also very active on Instagram, so if anyone wants to shoot me a DM, by all means, go ahead. I love talking about this stuff, clearly. So we do have a deposit to get on this tour. The deposit is totally refundable if you decide to cancel before March 1st, which is kind of the day where everything's going to be sorted out. So if you're like, hey, I can't make it, I have no problem sending you your money back. But just make sure you let me know before that March 1st deadline. So you basically put in the deposit now. That'll secure your spot on our trip. And then you just pay the remaining balance before March 1st.
Awesome. And we'll put all that information in our show notes so people
Yeah,
can have access
thank
to
you guys. Yeah, I know it's like a whole mouthful.
that.
I hope the people at home have like a pen and pad ready to go.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Ryan. This has been awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Would love to talk to you guys again at some point. And just this is wonderful, and I really appreciate you guys helping me out with this.